Don't be afraid to talk to your real close friend about it, so they might be like, hey man, like this doesn't sound right. You should go get it checked out. Don't be afraid to talk to your family. Don't be afraid to like see a doctor, get a colonoscopy to be sure. But with this plant-based diet, don't be afraid to try it. Like that rhymed. I looked forward to the meetings. To start with, I was a bit shy and reluctant, and I was like, so a couple of times I'd make it a while before we'd have our next meeting. But yeah, no, they were great. Like if I didn't have them, it would have been a lot harder because I would have been terrified about all these issues my body's having. I probably would have went back to the doctor. Be like, hey man, I'm losing my hair. Oh yeah, take these pills. Hey man, I'm like real weak. Here, take these pills. Like that type of thing. So, no, the meetings were great. 100% would recommend. And then after a while, detox was done, and I was starting to feel like I was alive again. And I'd notice that I wouldn't be as tired, or I'd be able to move around and do stuff, or I wasn't going toilet 30 times a day. And so I think my first time when I went toilet about 10 times, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I don't even remember the last time I didn't go to the toilet more than 20 times in a day. Or I noticed that there was like the tiniest bit of formation. My wife would hear me from the toilet like yelling in excitement, or I'd be like, babe, like, it's not a pool of blood. Anyone can do it. Like, it's not hard. Like, you think cutting meat and eggs and dairy out of your diet's hard. It's not. It's 100% easy. Like, yeah, best decision I've ever made in my life. It's just insane what changing your diet can do for not only your digestive system, but your whole life and outlook as a whole. It's pretty amazing.
Hey guys, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at highcarbhealth, and also click on the green H so you get to see exactly what I eat and what I get up to every single day. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit the bell icon so that you get all our notifications for our recent uploads. Hey guys, welcome to another video. It's testimonial time again, and we have the amazing Daniel here who is going to share his story. It's so awesome to have Daniel in person because he's come a long way since he first started working with us, and we're going to share with you what he went through before his diagnosis of ulcerative colitis. I'll get him to talk about his condition and how he went through his journey to health. And we can safely say that you didn't really eat many fruits and vegetables, did you?
Borderline none. Yeah. Maybe like a banana a week.
Yeah. And so, he was eating a predominantly meat-heavy diet. Yes, there were junk foods involved, but, there was still a lot of meat in his diet, and that's why he got sick. It wasn't just because of the junk foods and the processed foods. So this is something that I want to address to people, because everyone thinks that it's just the junk foods and the processed foods that cause digestive issues, but it's also the meat. And when you're eating those foods, you're not doing yourself any favors in terms of your gut microbiome, as we know now, and so many other issues like TMAO, and heart disease, diabetes, cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's. So the list goes on if you want health problems associated with animal products. So I'm just going to hand it over to Daniel. He's going to talk about what his life was like before he got colitis, when he got colitis, when he got diagnosed, and he's going to talk us through his time with the doctors as well. So no pressure, Daniel. Here you go.
Hey, I'm Daniel. Before I got diagnosed with colitis, I always thought I was kind of healthy because I was always so slim, never really put on weight, which I always struggled with, but I thought that was, you're healthy, you can eat what you want, no problem. Big cigarette smoker, big coffee drinker, probably have about 6 to 7 coffees a day, 3 before 9, because I used to start work real early. Like with every coffee there was a cigarette, and then on top of that I'd probably have about 3 to 5 energy drinks a day. And yeah, it was pretty tragic. We're looking back at it now. But yeah, since I was so skinny and that all the time, I just thought, I was pretty healthy. But if I really looked at things, I was tired all the time, lethargic, moody, angry, like just everything, like the littlest thing would set me off. And yeah, so pretty terrible. And then yeah, on top of that, like for dinner sometimes I'd have a packet of like salt and vinegar chips or whatever wasn't handy, but I'd still make my wife and kids proper dinner. But it'd be like a lamb with some broccoli and mashed potatoes. But I was just too lazy to eat it. I just wanted to hop in bed or play my video games, eat my chips, and drink my coffee. Really, and that was essentially my life before I got diagnosed. So probably about 2 years ago, I had an incident where I found blood in my stool, and I went to my doctor, and he just asked me a couple questions like, "Is the blood bright? How is it passing the stool?" And I said, "Oh, it's blood, looks fresh, it's right." He said, "Oh, you probably have a tear in your rectum somewhere, it'll clear up on its own." Cool. Fast forward to two years, it happens again. I go back, and he was like, "Oh, well, we went over this last time, so we'll give you a rectal exam." So that was an awkward experience. He couldn't find anything, so he said, "We'll sign you up, get a colonoscopy done," and that would take about 8 weeks. And I went home, and I was bricking it. I was so scared. I thought something was real serious, not knowing that I had ulcerative colitis. I'd never even heard of ulcerative colitis. Rang my mum, and she said, no, we'll go private, get it done. So within a week, I had a colonoscopy, got that done, was just finished. I was waking up. The doctor came to me, was like, "Oh, you have ulcerative colitis. Take these pills. See you in a couple of weeks." Between those couple of weeks, the symptoms had gone pretty much. There was no blood, no mucus. I was going to the toilet, one time a day, which was regular for me beforehand. Got a letter saying, here's your appointment for your follow-up visit. It's $1,000. So I just decided, symptoms are gone. I'm not going to go. And then, that was my diagnosis. Doctor pretty much just said, "Here you go, take these. It'll be fine. You're all right. Take these pills for the rest of your life." And I was like, okay, sweet. Doctor said it must be the right thing to do.
So after your doctor said that, what happened after that, and what did you do next? Did you change anything with your food at all? Did he say anything about diet? Did he say anything about lifestyle change, and that this disease can actually be prevented or even reversed via diet?
Initially, after the colonoscopy, I didn't change anything. I was thought, okay, he said take these pills. I took the pills. They seemed to work. So I was like, cool, fine. So I had a 3-month script. So for the next 3 months, life was normal, pretty much. I ran out of it. I used all the 3 months. It was all done. Within a week, my symptoms came back. And I was like, I need to go back, get some more medication. Went back to my doctor. He gave me a 1-month script. And I asked him, I said, "Is there anything I can do?" Because I was doing a little bit of research into diet and thinking maybe I need to change my lifestyle, but I hadn't done anything yet. So I questioned my doctor and was like, "Is there anything I can do diet-wise to help my condition?" He said, "Nope. Eat a well-balanced diet of meat, fish, eggs, vegetables as well, and you should be fine with taking this medication." So I started doing that. I thought I was eating a bit healthier, so instead of at work for morning tea, instead of grabbing a steak and cheese pie, I'd grab a chicken and avocado sandwich. And I kind of stopped eating red meat, but I started eating, I don't know why, a lot of cheese on toast, and I thought this was good because all the things I was reading online were saying white bread's fine, cheese is fine, eggs is good. So I started that was pretty much my diet. Breakfast, lunch, dinner was bread, cheese, eggs, and all that sort of stuff, but I kind of cut down on the meat. And for a little while, it was all right. And then symptoms were getting a bit worse, and I noticed that my body was rejecting the medication, but I didn't think anything of it. So I thought instead of taking them all in one go, I spread it out throughout the day. So I had one in the morning, one at lunchtime, one at nighttime, and things were all right. But then I had a big blowout one weekend where I just went crazy on flavored milk. And I had a big weekend, we went to school fairs, and it was burgers and butter chicken and chop suey. So I was just going in. About 2 days later, after I had all that, it was about 2 liters of flavored milk. My body just reacted in a way I was going toilet for 10 times a day. A couple of days later, 15 times a day, up to 25 to 30 times a day. And out of those 25 to 30 bowel movements, 2 was actually stool. The rest was just blood. I was painting the bowl red pretty much. And it was the most scariest experience of my life. I thought I was literally dying just sitting on the toilet. And I was losing weight. I think I went from 57 to 53 kilos from doing that. So I pretty much stopped eating because I was scared of going to the toilet. But not eating didn't stop the bowel movements. It just kept coming and coming, and I was at my wit's end. I didn't know what to do. Like, I thought there was nothing that could be done because the doctor said, eat this. So I was doing it, take this medication. I was doing it. So I just thought, oh, well, this is the end. I might have to look at getting surgery or a stronger medication to help my condition. And I went on a bit of a downward spiral. I was pretty depressed, didn't want to do anything. Work was real difficult. Like, I just started a new position at work, and about a month after, that's when my condition got real bad. So yeah, life was pretty tough at that time.
Talk about your work. So your work is like what, at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah, I wake up at 4, be at work by 5. Pretty physical. So like everything, because I work in a supermarket, so everything I lift is pretty much 12 kilos or up. And that was starting to become a struggle. But it was hard to get anything done because, like we had to climb stairs to go to the toilet. So I'd go start work, whatever, have to go toilet, bam. Okay, run downstairs, do about 7 minutes of work. Oh my God, I need to go toilet. Run upstairs, go back downstairs. 15 minutes later, oh my God, I need to go toilet. A couple of times I had to actually go home because I couldn't make it to the toilet in time. And obviously, that's really embarrassing. People are like, why are you going home? Oh, I just got an emergency. I'll be back in about half an hour. I didn't want to tell them, like, I pretty much crapped my pants because I couldn't hold it. Because not many people, I wasn't very open with my condition to start with. Because it was like, I don't know, I just felt it was real embarrassing to talk about it. The only people who knew were pretty much my mum, my wife, and like one of my real close mates who I told. So they were the only ones who were aware.
Wow, it's, most of you out there that are watching have probably been in his situation because, you know that you can't hold your bowel movements, and it's just so hard to, go to the bathroom, and on top of that with work and people around you, it's not a very nice feeling. It's not also a very nice feeling to try and explain to someone what you're going through because they just won't understand. Because everyone doesn't have any issues with bowels as such, especially with controlling them. So, okay, you were in this position, and you had nothing going for you. The medication wasn't working, and all this time you were taking the meds as well, right?
Yeah.
And they weren't working. And so you were kind of like, what do I do next, right? So what did you do next?
I did nothing. I literally didn't. I would just lay in bed, be depressed all day, and then randomly one day, my mum sent, because obviously my mum knew I was going through this, but she was real worried as well. And randomly, she messaged me a link that her sister, my auntie, had sent to her about Shamiz. I can't remember the magazine name.
I think Vegan Magazine.
Vegan Magazine, about how Shamiz healed himself. He's gotten over colitis. He's thriving in life. And I looked at it, like the link real quick, and I didn't even click on it, and I was like, yeah, whatever. Like, I was in that much of a depressive state. I was like, yeah, whatever, this is all crap. Like, nothing's going to work. And it was about 2 days later after my mum had sent me the link, I was like, well, what have I got to lose, really? So I read through a bit of the magazine article, and then I was like, I wonder if this guy has a YouTube. So I Googled him, YouTubed him, and from there I just started watching the videos for probably about 3 to 4 hours straight. And I remember I watched one lot of videos was like a Draw My Life 3-part like series of videos explaining his whole journey and where he was at to now. And I think it was on part 3 or part 2, I can't remember which one exactly. I started crying, like busted out in tears, because I was like, shit, someone has gone through the same thing as me, has come out the other side. Like, life's not over, like, let's jump into this. So I was watching more videos about bananas. So before I even contacted Shamiz and that, I went on a full banana diet. And I don't know if that was the right choice to do, but I did it, and I started detoxing because I stopped taking my medication straight away. Stopped taking medication, eating bananas 3 times a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner, bananas. My body was detoxing. I went down to about 40 kilos from 53. It was probably the worst experience of my life, but it was worth it. Because going through the detox was real tough. I would, wouldn't want to eat, but I would force myself to eat these bananas. Because I was like, well, if he did it with eating bananas, I can do it eating bananas. I I'd like stand up and I'd collapse in my hallway, like blackout, because I was that weak and lethargic. And then I told my mum what was going on, and she was like, "What did you do that for? Maybe we should speak to them first before you jump head first into anything." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet." Had our 30-minute consultation with Shakul. Was it you or Shakul? Oh, see, I don't even remember because I was that out of it from the detox. Like, I don't remember. Probably the first couple months, it's just blank from this journey. I just can't remember I was in that much of a state. But it's probably because I jumped the gun a little bit, went straight into the detox scene before I even realised what I was getting myself into. But it was worth it. Like, I'll do it again. I'll do it again, not knowing what was going to happen. Knowing what would happen, I'll do it again 100 times over. To get to where I'm now.
When you obviously talked to me about it, what did I say to you? And what were some of the things that I told you that you needed to do if you wanted to overcome this disease?
I don't remember. Like I said, I don't remember anything. Like, I was that much of a
normally what I would say to him is that if you are fully committed, if you want to heal this disease, you have to have the focus, the determination, and the drive to get there. And those are probably some of the things that I said to him. This is obviously 6 months ago, so I probably don't remember either. But the fact that he had hope that someone else had gotten through this disease and that, hang on a second, I don't need to be on medication for the rest of my life, and the fact that this guy has a normal life without having any bowel issues was, hope for him. And I think let's talk about after you started working with us and the support that you got from me, and how every time we'd have meetings, how that would make you feel, and the encouragement that you got from me.
Before that, we're talking about support not only from High Carb Health, but I think family support's a big thing as well. So like my wife, before I even chose to go on a plant-based diet, she jumped into a plant-based diet. My kids are on a plant-based diet. My mum's not, but she cut down on meat and dairy and eggs so much, but she still have them every now and then. But they were so supportive of me during this, along with High Carb Health. I think that's how I got there. And with the meetings, they were great because I would have issues like, I'm so weak, I can't lift anything now, I'm so weak. Shama was like, yeah, man, like that happened, your body's detox, you lost all your muscle mass, don't worry about it. It's a slow process to get back, but you'll get there. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Next, like couple months later, have more issues. Man, I'm losing my hair. Hey, don't worry, happened to me, happens to most people. It'll clear itself up if you keep going the way you're going. Oh, cool. And then so like all these issues that your body, my body's never reacted like this before, and I'll bring them up terrified. No, it's normal, don't worry about it, you're doing great. Like, so encouraging, and it was just great having those meetings, because after every meeting, I'd feel more motivated to carry on. I'm getting a little choked up here. To carry on and just keep doing what I'm doing, and it was great. Like, I looked forward to the meetings. To start with, I was a bit, shy and reluctant, and I was like, so a couple of times there, I'd make it a while before we'd have our next meeting. But yeah, no, they were great. Like, if I didn't have them, it would have been a lot harder, because I would have been terrified about all these issues my body's having. I probably would have went back to the doctor and be like, hey man, I'm losing my hair. Oh yeah, take these pills. Hey man, I'm like real weak. Here, take these pills. Like that type of thing. So, no, the meetings were great. 100% would recommend.
Yeah, and I suppose, for those people that are watching, potentially that's what's happening to you as well. Your body is going through what's called a self-healing process. And, I talk about these things where you do lose your hair, you get fevers, you get headaches, you get many, many things like that. It's because your body is removing toxicity. And when you go through that process, it can be very uncomfortable. And that's why we do say that people do get worse before they get better. But I can tell you, as he just said, that he would do it all again to be in the situation that he is in now, because it's life-changing. And same for me. I would go through the hospital visits, the pain, all those things, the drugs and whatever they pumped into me. I would do that all again in a heartbeat just to be here today talking to this fella. and it's because life is so great. And for me, it's been about 7 years now with no medications and no issues with my bowels. And for himself as well, it's going to get to that stage where he's going to be down the track 7 years later and going to be like, my life is still amazing the way it is now. And that's the power of this beautiful lifestyle that he is living right now, because he does not have to worry about his bowels anymore, obviously. So when you started to see improvements in your bowels, how did you feel, and what did you think, and what was the thought process? What were the thoughts going inside your head when you found some relief? Let's just say, because the detox was hard. It always is hard for many people to go through. But when you see that little bit of a light, what goes inside your head?
Yeah, well, the detox was extremely hard, and I thought, man, like, I'm worse than I ever was, because, my body was getting rid of all the toxicity, so my bowel movement don't even want to talk about it, was gross. And then after a while, detox was done, and I was starting to feel like I was alive again, and I'd notice that I wouldn't be as tired, or I'd be able to move around and do stuff, or I wasn't going toilet 30 times a day. And so I think my first time when I went toilet about 10 times, I was like, wow, this is amazing. Like, I don't even remember the last time I didn't go to the toilet more than 20 times in a day. Or I noticed that there was like the tiniest bit of formation. My wife would hear me from the toilet like yelling in excitement, or I'd be like, babe, like, it's not a pool of blood. Like, obviously she got sick of talking about it. Like, it's not real nice to talk about stool all the time, but it was a big deal in my life at that time. So any little improvement, I'd obviously update her. But now every time there was like a little bit of improvement, I pretty much got that, glimmer of light, like, oh my God, this is going to work. Like, why is no one talking about this, like, over mainstream media? Or why do the doctors not recommend this to everyone? Like, it's insane what they try to feed you to what you actually need in your life. Like, most of my mum's sisters are vegan or plant-based or vegetarian, and I used to think they were crazy. I said to my mum, Mum, your family's crazy. Like, I could never give up meat. I could never give up egg. Like, I love my KFC so much. I'll never go back to eating that. No matter how much, I was tempted in the beginning. Like, should I just get a 2-piece quarter pack at KFC or a Big Mac at McDonald's? But I didn't do it. And now I drive past McDonald's and I'm like, gross. KFC, smells nice, gross. I'm not going to eat it though. Like, I would never go back, because where my life's at now, I'm pretty much the happiest I've ever been. Even before I got diagnosed or I had symptoms of colitis, so I'm not tired anymore. I used to be late for work all the time because I'd sleep in. When my alarm goes, I'm pretty much out of bed, get changed, off to work. I used to be a bit of an introvert. I hated going anywhere. Like, all I would want to do is go to work, come home, play video games, go to sleep, repeat. My wife would be like, hey, should we go and do this? Oh, no, I don't want to go and do that. Now, should we go this? Yes, we'll go for a walk. We'll go on holiday. We'll go see this family member. We'll go do this. I hate staying cooped up inside now, where before that was my life. Like, I didn't want to go anywhere. But not only did this plant-based diet like change my bowel movements, it pretty much changed my whole life. So every time I see improvement, it just makes me that much happier than what I already am, which is hard to think because I'm already the happiest I have been. So it's just insane what changing your diet can do for not only your digestive system, but your whole life and outlook as a whole. It's pretty amazing.
I'm pretty sure many of you out there know what he's talking about, because it is such an amazing life when you get to that other side, when you go through, undoing that damage that you've caused your body. And for him, he had caused his body a lot of damage. That's why, he went through what's called a detoxification. And some people don't go through as bad as what he may have gone through. Same with me. But don't be scared of that, because it's a way that your body is trying to heal itself. And if you're scared of that, then you're not going to go through that process, and you're not going to see that light at the tunnel as much, because you do have that fear, and fear is not going to help you at all. It's just going to keep you down and be miserable all the time, and you don't look forward to the next day because you feel like there's no hope and this isn't going to work and all those things. So all those thoughts inside of your head are not needed. And that's why the mind has a lot to play when you're going through this as well. So do you want to talk about that aspect where, potentially the physical symptoms weren't getting any better, but how did you kind of pick yourself up, when you were down?
Like I said, when I was in my worst part, I don't remember a hell of a lot because I was that lethargic and tired. My body was detoxificating. But a lot of things I would do is watch YouTube. So I was in a real dark place before I contacted shamans, so I was just pretty much watching YouTube. But after that, I'd have times where I'm like, man, I'm so like, how am I going to do this? My body's doing this. And then I just started watching like a lot of like shamans' videos, reading comments, looking at his Instagram. And then I don't know why I did this, but I remember we spoke about this too. Watching cooking videos gave me a lot of enjoyment. Just cooking. I don't know why. I probably watched every cooking video on YouTube because I had 2.5 months off work because I just couldn't get out of bed pretty much. And I was just watching YouTube. And that pretty much got me through. And the support from my wife was probably the biggest thing that helped my mind. Because not only did it help me, I was seeing improvement in her moods. She lost weight without doing any exercise, and she's felt the best she has in her life. And seeing those improvements in her life changed my mental, so I was doing this for her, and she's doesn't have a digestive disease. What's it going to do for me once I get to where she's at now, and then I carry on eating it? What's it going to do for me? So my mind, for the first couple of months, it was real, my mental was terrible. But then I just started looking at little things and stopped taking things for granted. So I used to get real angry all the time. And I was like, well, this can't be helping me. So I just, would take a step back and try my best to not let the little things frustrate me or get me annoyed. Don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I still get angry and annoyed at, things sometimes. But compared to where I was over 6 months ago, I'm a completely different person. My mind state's different on not just food, but my whole outlook on life. But to start with, it wasn't like that. I was like, nothing's going to work. What's the point in carrying on? I might as well just lay here and wither away to nothing. But, it's not an easy journey to go on, but it's worth it in the end if you can push your way through. It's worth it 100%. Like I said, I'll do it again. Shama said he'll do it again.
Did the testimonials help you as well?
I watched a few of them, and I can't remember who it was, but I watched one and it really hit me, and I'm like, geez, if this guy can, because I seen a photo of him before when he was detoxing, can go through this and get skinny like I am naturally, and now he's quite big, shit, I can do it. Why not? So, yeah, the testimonials did help. They did help. And I even spoke to some people and they're like, is it real? Does this actually work, this plant-based diet? And I'm like, well, look at me. I'm living proof. I'm not perfect on the plant, but I don't eat meat or anything. I haven't had it for over 6 months, but I'll still indulge in some of the vegan junk foods, or my wife and kids will get a plant-based pizza, and I'll have a couple slices. So I'm not perfect, and it does affect me little bits, but I know how to fix it back up. But yeah, if I can do this and come out through the other side with being a little bit naughty, anyone can do it. It's not hard. You think cutting meat and eggs and dairy out of your diet's hard. It's not. It's 100% easy. Best decision I've ever made in my life.
Thanks so much for talking about your experience, Daniel, and how, you're being upfront with people as well by saying that you do eat other foods, and, it may irritate you a tiny bit, but I think your life now is so much better than it ever was that, you're not going to get affected by those little niggles that you have. And I think you're always working on it. It's always a work in progress. And, considering how bad your life was now and the energy that you have now, what advice would you give to anyone else that's listening?
Don't be afraid to talk about it. Say, if I didn't talk to my wife about this and she didn't just push me to go to the doctors, I probably wouldn't have done anything. Don't be afraid to talk to your real close friend about it, so they might be like, hey man, this doesn't sound right. You should go get it checked out. Don't be afraid to talk to your family. Don't be afraid to see a doctor, get a colonoscopy to be sure. But with this plant-based diet, don't be afraid to try it. Like that rhymed. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people say like, the vegan healing diet didn't work for me. After a week, I felt terrible, and just do it because it doesn't take a week for you to heal. I'm still healing now, and it's 6 months down the line, but I can actually go out and do things. I'm going toilet consistently 3 times a day instead of 30. The healing's not easy. Detoxing's not easy. But if you can power through it, and you've got to have that mental and that support group, it's doable, and then you'll have a better life than you've ever had. Essentially, like, just don't be afraid to give it a go. Don't necessarily do what I did and jump in head first with the bananas and stopping medication straight away. Like, talk to like High Carb Health about it, because it's a 30-minute free consultation. Why would you not? It's 30 minutes out of your day to have a chat that could change your life forever. But don't be afraid to do it. Like, it works. Like, people say, oh, it doesn't work for me. Like, you've given it 2 weeks. Give it 2 months and then say it doesn't work. Give it 4 months and then say it doesn't work. But follow it, and you'll come out the other side feeling great. Best you ever have. Just don't be afraid. Like, just talk about it. I can't stress that enough, because I do know someone who has Crohn's disease, and I've been trying to talk to them, or my wife knows them and she's been trying to get them to talk to me, but they're in their mind state. It's like, oh, I've had it for 5 years now. There's nothing that can be done. Doctors said it can't be done, but it's 100% wrong. So just don't be afraid to talk about it. Book the free 30-minute consultation. It's 30 minutes. What's 30 minutes? And it's free, so even better.
Man, it's to see Daniel grow from where he was 6 months ago is just fascinating. To see him actually speak up about it and talk to you guys about it is just absolutely amazing. When I first talked to him, he was very shy, very just in his world, and he didn't really know what to say to me, and I had to try and get things out of him, because he was scared, and he had quite a bit of fear about his condition. But he is a changed man, and that's what a plant-based diet has done to him. It's reduced his bowel movement significantly. It's allowed him to do so many other things. And he now sees the environmental side of things, of, eating animals and animal products. He sees the ethical side of things as eating animals and animal products. And he doesn't want to contribute to that. He does not want to give his dollar to those industries, because it's not an ethical thing to do. It's not sustainable. And why would you want to eat those foods, right? So he's evolved. He's always evolving as a person and learning new things about diet and lifestyle. And that's why we encourage you to do the research. We encourage you to do the science, because he has now reduced his risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, stroke, Alzheimer's, and many other health conditions, because he's gone onto a plant-based diet. And he is very, very happy with what he's doing, and he loves potatoes.
Mashed potatoes and broccoli.
And, he would have never eaten this many vegetables in his life before this, and it's woken him up. And that's what I guess I want you guys to see, is that this way of life wakes you up. It makes you understand everything around you, and you become so much more aware. You enjoy with your family a lot more. Like, he's got 2 kids that he needs to take care of, and he doesn't want to prematurely die of a heart attack. And that's probably what would happen, because that's the number one risk factor is getting heart disease in the world, because 18 million people die of heart disease every single year, and your chances of getting that are pretty high, heart disease or stroke. So he's reduced his risk dramatically just by doing that. And so he doesn't want to end up in his 50s and 60s and, struggle. He's going to be thriving, and that's why he does a plant-based diet. So I guess, is there anything else, last few words that you want to say to anyone?
Just thanks. Thanks to you. Thanks to my wife. And again, just don't be afraid to talk about it. Like, it's just an issue in life. You can get past it. You don't need medication. You don't need doctors to tell you need to do this, you need to do that. You just need to change your diet, change your mindset, you live a better life. Easy, just don't be afraid to talk about it. It's the biggest thing that I've seen with people is that they don't want to talk about it. But have that chat, boom, done, sorted. You just gotta work hard and not give up.
Well, awesome, and thank you so much for sharing your story on our channel. It's so awesome to see you in person, and you now have a life after colitis.
Dude, great.
Cheers, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. And comment down below if you're in the same position as Daniel and if you are struggling, and make use of the free 30-minute consultation. I say this to everyone, so please make the most of that. And there is a life after colitis for you as well. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Give this video a thumbs up if you know what it's like to have colitis or Crohn's disease, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. This channel was about helping people recover from colitis and Crohn's disease. If you go to our website and fill out the health survey, you are entitled to a free 30-minute consult from anywhere in the world. We look forward to hearing from you. And always remember, there is a life after colitis and Crohn's.